Hello friends, this is Ryan from Behind Eyes Gaming, and I don't have my camera on today because I can't be bothered to put on a shirt right now. Been a little bit busy starting up my new job here soon, and I have had the launch of Magic the Gathering Arena open beta for my other channel, so I've been doing a lot of Magic content and playing a ton of Magic, but I have been playing some PoE, and I've been wanting to put out some PoE content, so this is the character I have been playing when I've had the time. I haven't had much time to play. It took me forever to level this. But this is a Chieftain, and it is actually using the Oni-Goroshi that I farmed in the last video. So we are using the Oni-Goroshi. I decided I wanted to use it. Minimum crit strike chance. Wow, words are hard right now. Minimum crit strike chance. So we're actually not doing it as a crit build just yet. We have Resolute Technique instead, and we may add some more accuracy and whatnot, but basically what we did is we went through here, went over to Strong Arm, and basically rushed Resolute Technique for leveling. I think on a Marauder, it's almost always a good idea to just go straight through here and just bull rush Resolute Technique if you're playing a melee build, because the Marauder's accuracy is so incredibly low. If you have certain low-level uniques that give you accuracy, such as the Ignomon and whatnot, then you might be able to get away with not doing that. But generally speaking, the Marauder's accuracy is garbage. You should rush Resolute Technique. Then I went down through, got the Warrior's Blood, headed up here to Retribution, got these two nodes here, then started to head down to the Duelist area. Might be a good idea to do that first. Go through, grabbed mana flows. At the time I really needed it. I might be able to spec out of this. I haven't really tested it. I do have mana leech, so I should be able to. I don't know what my intelligence requirement is. I haven't been paying too much attention. 97. Yeah, I definitely won't be able to spec out of that just yet. I'll need something to give me more intelligence, but once I get that, that should be fine. I've only done the first two ascendancies. This one giving me 50% of fire or physical damage converted to fire. Damage penetrates fire resist, and then the extra physical damage is fire. That paired with our main skill, Consecrated Path, gives us full 100% fire conversion. So as you can see, we are doing all fire damage at the moment, and it ticks back and forth between 13,000 and 23,000 unbuffed DPS, just because, well, you know, we have our little ascendancy here. This gives us Fire Leech, 10% increased strength, and the ability to cover rares and uniques with Ash, which gives us a lot of single target damage. Just an absolute insane amount of physical target damage. It gives us the ability to kite around if we want. Not really necessary, not that big of a deal, but pretty nice. We ended up grabbing the Leech pretty early on. We needed it for sustain. Moved over through here. Grabbed Celestial Judgment, Celestial Punishment, then popped down here, grabbed some sword stuff, popped over here for Golem's Blood. We ended up getting the Scion Life Wheel. I think we got that pretty early along with Berserking. I just have this really kind of mediocre jewel at the moment. Probably try to get something better, but I just happened to be going through here, so I'm like, 1 second for a jewel. Still probably worth it. The increased damage if you've killed recently is pretty nice, and we got some fire damage and a little bit of stats. We definitely need the intelligence. So, currently my plan for the immediate future on this character, I'm only level 71. Just gotten to maps. I've done like 3 or 4 maps so far. Not that many. Is I'm probably going to grab Tahoa Forest Strength, and I'll probably drop Anger, which I'm using for now, and use a Blasphemy Warlord's Mark, which also might allow me to spec out of this leech stuff here and move it elsewhere. As far as skill points, I'm going to grab Lava Lash and Blade of Cunning through this side here, giving a little bit more leech. It is physical attack damage, so I guess it won't give leech, but it'll give damage and attack speed. Actually, now that I see that, I I'm a little less enthused about grabbing this. I thought the leech would be part of it with the Warlord's Mark. We probably have enough leech though between the Hinekora and the Warlord's Mark though. Then we'll grab some, once we have Warlord's Mark ready, we'll grab some of these power charges that were nearby, or rather endurance charges. We have one here and one here we can grab. We can move over and grab this one, and we may do so for a total of 6 endurance charges, which will give us with this 36% fire damage and a nice 3% life regen per second when we're at max charges. Should be easy enough. We can do a war cry in order to keep up our endurance charges. Do enduring cry against bosses. So once we hit the boss, we can just repeatedly keep that up by hitting the war cry. That might be the plan for that. Not really sure. We have a lot of life we can still grab. We have this. We have Juggernaut. We have this life up here. We have the life over here. So just a ton of life once we get all of that sorted out. If we want to respec into crit, we take out Resolute Technique, grab this. We're going to need a lot of accuracy. We're getting a little accuracy from our gloves, otherwise not so much. I'll go over the gear here in a second. I don't have any plans to get Vol Packed because we have a lot of regen and it's a nice little way to counteract her Embrace. The Barbarism is very necessary. Getting that overcapped fire resist early on makes it so her Embrace doesn't, absolutely destroy you, especially while leveling. I noticed having low fire resist in the early stages of leveling, like levels 20 through 40, it was a big problem before I got a lot of leech rolling. So I would recommend trying to cap out your fire resist while leveling as soon as possible if you're going to level with Oni-Goroshi. It's been a pleasure to play, honestly. It's been really good. It's pretty quick. I got a lot of attack speed. It's not the fastest around, but here's our gear. This is pure physical, basically. Physical damage and attack speed with some life and accuracy. So pure damage on the gloves. It's an energy shield base. It's not that great. Holding our Molten Shell at the moment that we have unlinked. We finally found a good belt. We had an absolute garbage. Literally, I had to keep a belt with just cold resistance and no life on it for a long time because I needed decapped cold resistance. But we did find this and we managed to sort our resists around, so now we have life on here, which is really nice. These boots are actually quite good. 95 life, pretty high resistances, and some movement speed, so pretty happy with that. I just have some of the extra stuff. I am holding on to Molten Strike. I may convert this to a Molten Strike build later. I find that Consecrated Path was great for leveling with Oni-Goroshi because you get the Consecrated Ground when you slam, which gives you like 5 or 6% health regen per second, which counteracts her Embrace, especially early on. So Consecrated Ground has actually been really nice for this. Helmet's pretty mediocre, crafted on a 3rd resist. It's keeping our resists nice though. Armor is pretty mediocre. We've been using this forever. Right now I'll probably focus on trying to get something or craft something better. I don't really have a lot of fossils yet. I haven't done any fossil farming just yet, but probably will. This isn't too bad. We got this early on, and 69 life, some resistances, level 28. And I've been using it for a long time. I pretty much got it right around 28. It's been my only decent piece of gear throughout. Definitely going to be looking for something better though, with higher resists, so that we can take some resists off other stuff in order to get higher life totals and more useful stats. And we're going to be looking for the elemental damage with attacks. This is not so good. I had to craft life on it, but at least it's got resistances. Right now, not all of our gear, we have some good pieces of gear, but like I said, I got these really recently. I hit endgame with all absolute trash gear, and then I have this, which is alright. I don't really need anything from it necessarily. The lightning resist is still important. We're not even capped for elemental weakness maps yet, so a little bit unfortunate there. I am gonna pop through a map really quick. just to kind of show you the play style. I have this dungeon. I'm just gonna do a basic roll, but it's not too shabby. It's pretty quick clearing, pretty decent damage. Dungeon isn't the best map for it. Oop. We can follow the ghosts around, which is nice with our consecrated path. It does pretty poorly on maps like this just because you get stuck on walls a lot. So you just basically hold down the attack button, you teleport around to all the mobs. We're not very tanky just yet, but we'll get a lot of life going forward. Get a stream here. So we get to sit in one place for a long time, compelling gameplay. Right, and you know, despite having relatively for late game low attack speed on the item itself, we get around okay just because we've scaled a lot of attack speed on our tree and have a little bit on our gloves. So despite everything, it's worked out okay. Oh yeah, we also have a Vol Molten Shell, which can come in handy when we're about to jump into a big physical pack, give us that extra armor. Been leveling that up. And even regular Molten Shell is nice to give us a little bit of extra defensive capabilities. Once we have a little bit more life, a little bit higher level, and we have our endurance charges, I think we'll be okay in terms of defensively. I've only died like 2 times so far. Once in the final Kitava fight because I just bull rushed it, and one time in a delve. So it hasn't been too bad in terms of that. Alright. Getting stuck on walls. Look at those leap slams. Pro leap slams right here. Alright. And the cool thing is we can consecrated ground right over terrain. Really handy for getting around. I mean, we could leap slam anyway, but it gives us one less input technically, which is convenient. Yeah, I have to rely on my flask here for movement speed, and the downside, I have really good boots, but they're only 15% move speed, so even with a Quicksilver, it doesn't feel like it's that fast. I don't have a Quicksilver of Adrenaline at the moment. I have poison removal on it. Probably should be re-rolling it, but I don't have a lot of alterations because I have a pretty strict loot filter. So now we're about to go into some physical damage, so I'll drop Vol Molten Shell and almost die. There you go. That was a little sketchier than I meant it to be, but you know, that is how it is. Gonna move down towards Lava Lash. Lava Lash is gonna probably actually end up being our last big damage node here, but yeah, we're gonna slowly clear through the maps as we tend to do, one at a time. Really focus on getting all the maps per tier, especially for the white maps, and you know, going through meticulously. Since this is solo southbound, by the way, in case I didn't mention that. So we have Azana. I'll get her later. It's already gonna be a long enough video just going through, but yeah, our delve, we're not very deep in the mines just yet, but we do plan that. As you can see, we have very little trouble taking down rares at the moment. We'll scale the damage up, and the great thing about Oni-Goroshi is you get extra damage every level, and that's going to add up in about 10 or so levels. That's a lot of extra flat damage, so should give us a nice little segue into the end game once we have Lava Lash 2, which will functionally give us like 8% more damage on top of the increased damage with the elemental penetration. I should probably go over my links really quick too. Just finish the last couple of things up here, and then close off. So, alright, so we're currently using Consecrated Path with Ancestral Call, elemental attack damage with attacks, fire penetration, faster attacks and combustion. You could also use more melee physical damage if you want, but I like combustion. It procs her embrace very often. Between that and what we have on the skill tree, I think we have about a 56% chance to ignite. So every 2 attacks or so we'll get her embrace. It'll give us that massive increase in damage. And I'll see if I can find another group of enemies really quick. Looks like we have an area we didn't explore, just to show you how big the damage increases. So 13,000 right there, and hopefully there are some enemies here. Yeah, and once we have her embrace, 39,000. It's enormous, and it gives you more movement speed and more attack speed as well. So really powerful stuff. I really like combustion given the reduced fire resistance. I think fire penetration is going to be more powerful. I actually swap in added fire for the bosses usually instead of ancestral call. I didn't bother doing it this time because I just kind of jumped in, but for later game that's going to be relevant. I don't know if added fire is the best way to go or if the more melee damage is going to be the best way to go. We'll have to see. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed. This was longer than I intended it to be, but I'll come out with a proper guide video or a proper endgame guide video for this once I have it all set up. Should be in a day or two. So I hope to see you soon. This has been Ryan from Behind Eyes Gaming, and bye! Hello friends, this is Ryan from Behind Eyes Gaming. Thank you for watching the video. Behind Eyes Gaming is brought to you by viewers like you. Please don't forget to check out my Patreon in the link below, and also don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the bell icon if you'd like to be notified of future videos, live streams, and more. And thank you again for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye!